Twitter bans James O'Keefe of Project Veritas off of social media in an effort to console Brian Selter, host of CNN's Reliable Sources, as they try to tell Brian that it's going to be okay. We're not a horrible network that does nothing but propaganda and lies. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, we also have the new Resident Evil Village showcase that came up yesterday, and some demos are going to come out every week, but the players want to know, are they going to get an hour-long gameplay where they get to play with Countess Mommy Milker Vampire Tea Time? We'll cover that all in today's show. Hail, salutations, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the G.N.A podcast. I'm your host, Blue Shark 45, and if you heard that intro and turn off the podcast and you're not listening to this lovely message where I tell you all, I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and I hope everything's going right in your day. But I know one person who's heard my wonderful message, and if he's the only person that hears this tonight, then I guess I've succeeded somewhere in life. We have a wonderful host with us tonight, Damok. How you doing, bud?
You were talking earlier? I was waiting for you to do the hand cues, man. I had my headphones off, so your message is lost on me. I got the last end. I'm not quite sure, but I'm here. I'm drinking, so I'm alive.
Well, Damok, since you had your headphones off, then my life is meaningless, and we might as well just go ahead and hit the show.
Hey, you know what? This was a short one. Play Resident Evil, get wrecked, have fun.
That's right. Oh, man. And I am having trouble with my commute now. This is just lovely times that we're having here, folks. But anywho, so Damok, let's get into what we should always get into with games, nerds, and alcohol. What we've been playing. What have you been up to?
Need for Speed Heat, and more Need for Speed Heat, man. I'm addicted to Need for Speed Heat at the moment. I have a PlayStation 5. I have the LG OLED. I have played it consistently again and again and again, and I played it on computer. I played it on PC when it came out. I think Vintage actually got me to play it with him, and I wasn't going to buy it because it's an EA title, but I bought it anyways. I started playing it, and I enjoyed it, but I never really took off with it. But on console, there's no easy way to circumvent things to get unlimited riches, so I actually have to play the game the way it was intended for the most part. I've found a couple things. But yeah, dude, now I'm actually enjoying the game that I cannot circumvent things and just be a mega millionaire and unlimited this and screw the cop cars over. And it's a lot of fun. Play Need for Speed Heat on fucking console if you haven't. It was on sale 2 weeks ago when I got it. I don't know if it's on sale still. But yeah, Need for Speed Heat, man. Keep saying it. I don't know what else to say. Even the kids are like, are you ever going to stop playing that game and let us play? No, it's my TV, my PlayStation. Technically, it's all for the family.
And this is on the new PlayStation 5, right?
Technically, I think it's a PlayStation 4 game because there is no Need for Speed Heat on PS5, but using the PS5 to play it, it's fucking phenomenal, and I'm having a great time. But what games have you been playing, if any? Watch, it's gonna be a phone game. Here we go. I've been looking at one thing. It's just called Flip Simulator. I don't do anything but stare at one tile, and I just click it, and it flips the screen back and forth, upside down and back and forth.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, folks. I've been playing phone games because I just I don't have time anymore in my life. I had time this week. Well, no, I didn't because I got jammed up at work yesterday. But yeah, I've been playing Wordscapes. It's a word guessing game. I maybe did just like a couple puzzles with that, and then maybe 20 minutes of Pokemon Go. Trying to get in dailies here and there. Nothing really riveting in that game going on right now.
Bro, why are we not playing Words with Friends?
Because I'm horrible with that, and you don't want to play Words with Friends with me because you have to understand my consistency with that is all over the place. Like, it's not consistency, it's inconsistency. So you're gonna play a word, and then I'm gonna be like, I need to get back to what I'm doing, and I'm gonna forget about it, and then you're gonna get a response from me in a week. So that's why I don't play Words with Friends. I don't play friends games anymore.
I was going to say, we should play Words with Friends. We should get a couple people together. However, I don't use my actual cell phone. That's, right here, my good one, my Pixel. I have my older cell phone. It's with, the Galaxy S3 from years and years and years ago. That phone is rooted, and I have that little Words with Friend hack thing on there so that it tells me the best words to use, and I get maximum points like a motherfucker. I'm telling you this because, no one else is going to listen to this podcast and we'll be okay. But you guys should play Words with Friends with me because I'm really fucking good, man. I know, quasar and quirkitit because, yeah, that's a real word, apparently. And I get points for it. I don't care.
And so you're telling me I should play this game with you because you cheat.
I like to feel some type of smartness. No, overall, I'm pretty decent at Scrabble, and I really enjoy playing Scrabble. But yeah, way back in the day, dude, I definitely had a rooted phone that threw that Words with Friend things because I was playing with so many people. And yeah, at that point, it got to the point where whoever could use the hack better and get the most points won. Because everybody was cheating on the first game.
Well, as long as we're all cheating, it's just a matter of seeing who cheats the best. I think it's fair. But
right? Who has the better aimbot? Let's go with that.
Yeah, that's always a good idea. My wife loves Scrabble. I hate Scrabble. I had to play Scrabble, I think, in 8th grade as an exercise every Friday. I was not a fan of the game because I wasn't good at it. Spelling's not my thing. I'm not the best at this stuff. I beat my wife once for the first time. I think a year into us dating, and she did not take that well. No, she did not take it well at all.
Nice.
And I was just like, yeah, that's not normally how I feel. I normally don't feel great about the fact that you're kicking my butt, but this is pretty good.
Man, Scrabble's fun though, man.
It is.
I'm not allowed to play Monopoly.
Oh hell no.
Quick story, real quick story time with Damok. I got 2 cousins, and one cousin is on the fucking level, she's straight legitimate. My other cousin, not so much. So I'm sitting next to my not so legitimate cousin, and I see that he's next to the banker box, and we get my legitimate on the level cousin's boyfriend to distract her, while my not legitimate cousin grabs some fucking money out of the bank. We divided up under the table, and I caught on to it halfway through the game, so I'm still trying to play catch up. She's going bankrupt. The rest of us are fucking hiding our money under the table, under our legs and shit like that. And be like, how much is that property? $9,000? Not a fucking problem. Yeah, once we got caught, we were no longer allowed to play Family Monopoly, or I'm not allowed to be near the bank, and my money must be spread out on the table at all times.
That is a legitimate rule from now on. We played it. I remember we had the set. My mom bought it, and I think the most use we got out of it, we were at my grandparents' house when my grandfather was still alive, and we were playing, and we were in the family room doing this. It was like a 3-hour game. I'm pretty sure my mom was just like, you know what? Who's got the most money? Who's got the most value right now? It's like, all right, you win. It's like, so it's like counting up our properties, and then, you know, like, so, and how much currency, how much money we actually had, and determined our worth. And then we're like, all right, so that's the winner of the game, because that game just drags on and on and on and on. 4 hours.
Oh, dude, like, you saw the absolute deluxe edition of Monopoly, right? The one that says the game never ends, and it's the board with the board around it, and literally you go through the properties in triplicate. So yeah, is it duplicate or triplicate? I'd have to look, but it's like the longest Monopoly game ever. You could play it for days, and, you know, never see an end.
No, I think even though my church is doing dysfunctional families as a sermon series for the next few weeks, I still don't want to tempt fate. But anyway, let's move into what's everyone's drinking this evening. I'm going to assume I'm lame, so I'm going to go first. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm drinking a Truly. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I can't go any further than this because Cecil's listening to this right now, and he's like, Blue, what the hell, man? Like, you didn't say pontificate. So, Cecil, pontificate. Moving on. So I'm drinking a Truly. It's a wild, and it's a hard seltzer. Specifically, I'm drinking their wild berry hard seltzer. For those of you who don't know, Truly's pretty much a low-calorie alcoholic drink, 5% alcohol by volume. It's like 100 calories. It's I like seltzers, just regular. You know, my favorite one is the strawberry one that Publix has from their Green Weiss section. But this is a heck of a lot sweeter than that. But this wild berry seltzer, they're pretty good. It's very raspberry, which I'm a fan of. I really like raspberry. That was like, what was it? Blue. It was like blue raspberry, like in candy. Like the blue raspberry wartheads. I love those. There was, what were the sour candy? No, those warheads were the sour candies. There's another one, Airheads. Yes, Airheads.
Oh boy, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever have kids and they're like, Mom, I want my tooth to come out. It's loose, but it won't come out. So take one of those Airhead packets and shake it and shake it and shake it and shake it till you get it down to like the size of, I don't know where the hell we got this idea, but they look like little like bags of heroin. Like I remember seeing a TV show, a cop show, and like they had little bags of heroin, and that's what these things look like. They're basically these little tiny pillows of just candy. After you shake it down, and just have them bite into that. That was like never fails. Anytime I had a loose tooth, bite into one of those things like that, came out. But blue raspberry, that's where it was at. I loved those. Those were great. I never really got the mystery ones. I had no idea what the heck they were supposed to be. They always tasted like white cherry to me, though. But anywho, so this Truly has hardly any bite to it. It's very smooth.
Okay, so I disagree a little bit there. If you're not used to seltzers, then all of the Trulies have a little bit of a bite there because they are highly carbonated instead of just regular carbonated. Right? Now, I will absolutely agree. I drink the shit out of Trulies because they're 100 calories. They're 5% alcohol. So, yeah, you know what? I piss more fucking percentage of alcohol than they have in their cans. But they're actually enjoyable for 100 calories, and me going on this fucking diet thing that Cecil fucking started, asshole. Yeah, like I've been trying to watch that and watch the calorie limit and everything, and the wild berry is good. Black cherry is my absolute favorite when it comes to the Trulies. I do not like the blueberry sky or whatever the fuck the blue one is. And then there's one in the middle of the berry. So they have so many fucking flavors, right? Because there's different packs that you can get. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Selkie is allergic to orange. Like flat out orange. Anything with orange in it. And the one pack has a whole bunch of drinks that she can't have because they all contain orange. So we always get the berry pack. I like the black cherry. I like the one you're currently drinking as well, the wild berry. Wild berry and black cherry fucking Trulies are amazing, and they're dangerous, dude. You're like 5% alcohol, and you're like, yeah, okay, I'm putting this bitch down 3 of them, and I'm like, okay, I can drink half a bottle of fucking scotch and be good to go, but man, these 3 fucking Trulies, like, I need to sit my ass down for a second.
Yes, you do. Yeah, they catch up to you because they go. Maybe they are a little more carbonated than most carbonated drinks are, but yeah, they definitely go down pretty easy, and that 5% adds up when you're drinking a lot of them.
Oh man, especially the tall boys. The tall boys would get you into a lot of fucking trouble, right? Because those are my favorite. They have the there's 2 types. They have the black can Trulies and the white can Trulies. And I noticed that the black can is too sweet for me now, so I always try and go with the white can. But if you can get one of those in like wild berry or black cherry, you open it, the first couple sips, it's going to be super carbonated. You go, ugh, yep, seltzer water, it's this again. If you leave it for like 5 to 7 minutes and then start drinking it, oh man, you're in for a wild fucking night. It's a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a couple Trulies and we're going to line them up on a table. We're going to pop them open. We're going to talk for 5 minutes and then we're going to start drinking.
Hey, man, I'm all fucking for it. I watched that. I know the girls on YouTube, the blonde chick that is like, hey, let me see what my BAC is after I drink how many Trulies. And she's trying to get to that 0.08 and it's like 5 Trulies later, she's 0.08. And I've seen this girl drink, like, I mean, she practically butt chugs a bottle of vodka and doesn't get to 0.08.
Yeah, they catch up pretty quick. I don't know if it's the carbonation. I don't think it's carbonation that has anything to do with it. I think it's everything. It's just sugar. It's sweet.
No, it's not sugar though. It's absolutely carbonation.
You think the carbonation is what makes the alcohol?
So carbonation is actually very, very good for your gut health. So drinking like standard carbonated water and all of that, your body seems to absorb it a lot faster overall, and you can hydrate faster drinking carbonated water over non-carbonated water. Now you should always drink lukewarm water over cold water because your body has to heat the water to absorb it anyways. Blah, 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 a whole bunch of stupid military shit. But yeah, actually drinking the seltzers, I'm assuming from how fast a fucking couple Trulies hits me after drinking, a bunch of 9 to 12% beers. Yeah, dude, it's got to be the carbonation helps the body absorb it a lot faster. And I honestly, I like Trulies a little cold, but I like them when they start to hit room temperature and I can down them really quick.
Okay. See, because I would think what makes it just hit you so quickly is they just go down so easily because they are sweet. It's like a mixed drink, like a well-mixed drink where there's just enough sweet in there. And it disguises like a cup that's filled with alcohol. And that'll screw you up.
Yeah, Selkie makes these. She calls them walk me downs, but they're supposed to like walk me down, sweet Jesus. And it's like, dude, the whole thing. It's pretty much the Long Island iced tea, except it's got a lot of blue carousel. So people call them adios motherfuckers, blue motorcycles, all of those. But she's from the South, so they call them walk me down, sweet Jesuses. And oh man. That's like, you drink one and you're like, there's alcohol in that? Get wrecked. And then she's like, no, sit still. I'll fix you another one. I'm like, okay, I'll just keep fucking playing my game then. Then, the second one goes down, I gotta take a piss, and you go to stand up, and, oh, that's all alcohol. I drink 2 glasses of alcohol, and nothing but alcohol.
That reminds me of the time. So I figured out how to make chocolate cake shots. So chocolate cake shots are, what was it? It was Kahlua, lime, and I think vodka. I think vodka's in this. Don't quote me on that third ingredient, but I know it's Kahlua and lime juice. Lemon juice. Sorry, not lime juice, lemon juice. There's a big distinction there. So I figured out how to make them. And so we make them one night, and I'm hanging out with my roommates, and I make a couple chocolate cake shots, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is good." We take those back, and they're like, "Oh man, you're good at mixing drinks, man." So I'm like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And I was like, they're like, "What are you doing?" Because I'm like staring at the top of the fridge, and I was like, "I don't know. I'm thinking about opening up that apple pie moonshine that I made a couple months ago and seeing how that's doing." So a couple months prior, I had bought grain alcohol, 100 proof grain alcohol. I made the apple pie seasoning. So condensed apple juice, cinnamon sticks, and some nutmeg. And I made the apple pie seasoning for this. Mixed it in 50-50. That stuff burned like there's no tomorrow. It burned. A couple months later, I tried it. Stuff goes down like apple juice. So I get an idea. I'm like, you know what? Chocolate makes a lot of things taste really good. I've never had chocolate apple pie before, though. Let's try this. So I take the shot glass and I fill it half with the chocolate cake shot. I fill the other half with this apple pie moonshine. And I pass it out to my buds. And we take a shot of that. They're like, damn, that's pretty good. My buddy was sitting down. 5 minutes later, he gets up and he's like, whoa. And he felt it. He felt it pretty hard, and he decided, he's like, I got a name for that shot. We're going to call that thing death. 'Cause it hits you. You're not expecting it. It comes out of nowhere. But enough of these stories. What are you partaking in tonight, Damok?
So I'm going to fuck it up, dude. It's spelled Jaialai, and I do believe I have to Google this because I'm gonna fuck it all up.
I know when you're gonna say it wrong. I know the name of this beard.
Oh, do you? So
I do.
It's Huli.
Nope, Highlight.
Highlight. Like it's HY plus UH plus LY.
Yeah, everyone.
Huli.
No, everyone in Tampa Bay calls it Highlight.
Okay, so yeah, I'm drinking Highlight. And you know what? Moonfat actually got me into this. We were playing D&D at God's house, and yeah, he was like, man, I got these beers. And I was like, fuck, can I try one of those? He's like, they're for fucking everybody. So I was like, all right. And yeah, dude, I just started drinking them, and they've become my everyday beer. They're 7.5%. They go down very smooth. Like, I know you talk about Truly's going down smooth for you, and I drink a lot of seltzer as well, but I still have that initial, when I take that first sip of seltzer, it needs to calm down a little bit. It's too carbonated for me. But these, you crack them, I can down them, I can toss it, give me another fucking can, I'm good to go. I haven't seen them in bottle, but Yeah, they're like, hey, toss me another fucking can. I can go through them, and I can get hammered really fucking fast with these. But Truly is still fucking good, and I've been drinking mostly Truly. I just drink this as my hey, Damok wants to get fucked up beer because it's time to get fucked up.
Nice. Do you like brown ales?
Oh, I absolutely do. Like Newcastle. I will drink a shit ton of Newcastle. I really prefer it on draft, but I will drink it out of the bottle if that's all we have to go with.
So, since you like brown ales, and you seem to like this Cigar City brew, try Cigar City Maduro. It's kind of what is it? Cigar, a little bit of that in the finish of it, just a light amount, but it's mostly I taste like whenever I drink it, I get the espresso flavors, and I get like a little bit of like a chocolate flavor to it. But their Maduro brown ale, that one's good.
Really? I will absolutely have to look into that because I have only seen Highlight.
Yeah.
So,
Highlight.
I'm saying Huli. Highlight.
Huli?
Jalali. I don't know.
Man, I've heard Jalali before in the reference to the dog races, but everyone called it Highlight. I was like, all right.
I will say, I need to go to Charlotte, South Carolina, or is it North Carolina? Charlotte, North Carolina, right? Yeah, Charlotte's in North Carolina.
Yes.
I really, really need to get my hands on that Triple C brewery. They make a baby maker, and I've only had it in the airport, and like it comes in this wonderful can, and I've posted on Discord so many times. Every time I fly, I don't give a fuck. I reroute to make sure I go through the Charlotte airport, because the place isn't called Racetrack, but I'm going to call it the Racetrack because it has to do with cars, and I go there, and I'm always like, yeah, give me a baby maker. I need to get fucking those. That beer is by far the greatest beer that I've ever had. Hands down, bar none. I fucking love that beer, but it's such a local niche brewery that I can't get it outside of that fucking area. God damn it. But yeah, so for the meantime, I drink Highlight, and we go from there.
Nice, very nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the meat of this. Let's talk about some Resident Evil Village. Now, this reboot that they've done since Biohazard's been pretty cool. So like Resident Evil 1 and 2, it's been pretty like on point for the most part. I don't think they've really deviated too much. But then with Biohazard, I was kind of like, what's going on with this game? Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And then they have a blue umbrella, and it's like Chris Redfield's in it. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on here? And who's this guy? It's not the same Ethan. It's different Ethan. But they did that, and then they rebooted 1 and 2. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's the end of that. We're going to end with some old swamp dude running around punching, molded. And we're going to call that good. But no, they've brought him back. So Ethan's back. And he's going into the village, which I thought they were going to redo Resident Evil 4, but instead they're just taking notes from Resident Evil 4 and making this Resident Evil Village. You're going after a girl, so they're holding on to that theme, except this one's your daughter, not the president's daughter. And the main local villain, I say he's the main local villain because he, like, in the beginning, you think he's the main guy, but He's just he was being used. I forget what his name. He was a midget of a dude. I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head, but now instead they have this giant vampire lady who's a countess, mistress of castle. Not really sure how to say that one. Dimitrescu? Something like that. But she's the one that, if you've seen memes, she's, oh, please, mommy, step on me, or whatever. Or,
dude, because she looks like it. Like,
yeah, she's huge. Like, she's, I mean, not, so, sorry. She's not fat. She's tall. She's like, I think
no, but that dick under that dress, dude, is ginormous.
Yeah, for all you know. What do they call that? Fuda or something like that? Is that what they call it? Is that when it's like a girl with that or something? I don't remember.
No, it looks interesting. And I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you know, you've already seen the trailer and probably the new trailer by the time this episode airs. It looks good, but not to me. And I know it's going to sound weird. I like a lot of the Resident Evil movies, and I like a lot of the Resident Evil games. My Resident Evil experience is different from a lot of other people. A lot of people and a lot of the fan base actually comes from the original PlayStation version of Resident Evil. And I had a Sega Saturn because I made the wrong choice in life. So the Sega Saturn version of the original Resident Evil was different from the PlayStation version. And I'm only saying that without any fucking evidence or clues, because all of my friends that played on PlayStation were like, yeah, dude, when you take the shotgun off the mantle and you go into that room and that ceiling's coming down, you're not supposed to die there. Barry's supposed to jump in there and save you, and then you get the shotgun to make the rest of the game easier. And I'm like, what? Doesn't fucking happen on Sega, goddammit. I don't know what's going on. But the game looks good. I'm personally watching the trailers and watching the gameplay. Yes, it's interesting, but there are other games that have done it better, in my opinion, already. And I liked what they did with Biohazard. I liked the creepy fucking house. I loved the creepy fucking villagers. I loved, like, Resident Evil 4, though. I played on GameCube, because that's what I had. I loved it. I loved Resident Evil 4 so much that I have the entire big old Prima strategy guide right here from Bradley Games that details everything. Because after I beat it, I had to go back and get everything. Because that was that, you had to do it a certain way and you could unlock extra weapons so that you could replay the game with more weapons, like the RPG and the Tommy gun. And, oh man. Resident Evil 4 was a shit. Resident Evil Village looks good. It doesn't excite me as much as Resident Evil Biohazard did. Especially not the Resident Evil remake. That was fucking phenomenal. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws to like the new Resident Evil Village. So Blue, legitimately, what do you truly like about Resident Evil Village? What's sucking you into the game?
So I think what's really sucks me in on this stuff has to be the stories. I've always this is kind of mirroring my first real interest into Resident Evil. Like, my first exposure was the Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, I believe. They were definitely in Raccoon City. I remember that, and I remember I had eaten a bowl of cereal, and my friend who I was sleeping over at his house, his older brother was playing the game, and we were watching, and all of the gore made me throw up. So that was my first exposure to Resident Evil. But I remember I used to get the gaming magazines, and they talked about Resident Evil 4. And I was like, okay. and I liked the trailers and all this stuff. I was like, okay, I don't like scary. I'm not a fan of that, but this is interesting. So I got into what was developing the story. I remember watching, the releases, the trailers, and I was like, wow, like this is kind of cool. And I'm like, so they're out of the city and they're in this other village, then this other country. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely, pretty cool. And I remember going back and watching people play the game, and I loved it. So this is supposedly a lot like it. It's got its own differences. There's different enemies, there's different puzzles. The vampires are an interesting take on this thing, but it's still like a village in some other country besides America. And I think it's supposed to, there's some sort of molded version or some version of that virus, which I think is the progenitor virus?
Yeah, COVID-19?
No, yeah, something like that. But I want to know what's going on with these people. Like, that's what pulls me into it. So that's a very weak draw for a game, if you ask me.
No, it's not. Not at all, dude. No, because that's what drew me into Resident Evil 4. Right? I watched the trailers. I thought the game was meh. I picked up a copy because I got it dirt cheap. I kind of, legitimately used illegitimate liens because I worked at a Hollywood video, and we had all these things to easily get games. So I picked it up for GameCube, and I was like, okay. I go into a village. I kind of want to know what the village is about, and that game hooked me, like flat out. I just kind of wanted to know the storyline, and I got hooked. So it's legitimately not a weak draw at all whatsoever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when I think of video games, like, you need more than that to carry a game. Like, a good story.
No,
you don't think so? You think
dude, the interest alone can carry it. As long as the game stays intriguing enough for you to keep interest, to figure out, you know what? I just have to know what fucking happens after this.
I guess. I mean, I felt like that way with Destiny, but I mean, like, looking back at it, I was like, yeah, it was a pretty crappy game, like, when it first launched, but I had to know. It's the same thing I feel with, like, the Halo games. It's like, I'm going to get the next Halo game because I have to know. I have to know what happens. Because I just love that. But one of the things that I saw with this release is which I thought was, I find that Resident Evil 4 started taking you down the road that, 7 was really actiony. Not 7, sorry, 6. Sorry, 6 was really actiony, and I think they had, what do they call those things where it's like quick time events or something like that?
Yeah, 4 had a lot of quick time events.
Yeah, 4 had those, and 6 they were like everywhere. There was like so many quick time events. But I remember thinking, okay, so this is kind of taking you away from what Resident Evil was, which was survival horror. They started getting into the action side of it. I feel like this is getting more into the action side of it, because there was one of them, and I can't remember if it was the first release. I think, it was the first showcase they did. They talked about a demo where you're going to play something called the Maiden. You had no weapons. It was all exploration, and it was survival, and hiding and all these other things. You just didn't have a way to attack. With the demos that they're going to do, and they're doing like a weekly hour-long demo.
No, hold on. Be careful what you say about that one.
Okay, so the little like tidbits of information that they're going to release if you've bought the game is one of the things that I thought was interesting was that they were going back towards that. Like, you have to manage your inventory. You've got to, it's like, it's very much a survival based game, which I feel like the remakes of 1 and 2 kept true to the originals. And then also Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, was a survival horror-based game. And this is keeping with that. It's staying away from the action, except for that arcade feature that they're adding in there. But I thought it was interesting is they're adding something where they're saying that blocking was going to be a new thing. So there was they show this guy and they show you it's first person. So they show you sticking your arms up at the right moment. And you take some damage still from the creatures in the dungeon, but you're blocking the attack. So instead of taking all the damage, you're reducing some of the damage. So instead of running and all these other things that you would normally do in the game, now you have a blocking feature. So blocking an attack. And I thought that was an interesting element because it's if you think about it, what did you do in Doom when the monsters overcame you? You just stood there and you got hit and you tried to move, you tried to back away, you tried to reload the gun or whatever. This has a more realistic feeling to it. They're what are you going to do when you get overrun by these creatures in the dark? Normal human reaction is I'm going to stick my arms up. So I thought that was a nice little add-in feature because it adds a little more immersion. If you throw this into we could talk about doing this in 3D virtual reality with the Oculus Rift or whatever. But
now hold on a second. This game is not coming to Oculus.
No, this isn't. But that mechanic of sticking your arms up and being in that first person, I feel it's more immersion because normally it's I'm getting attacked by these monsters, my hands stay here, they stay down. Now instead it's it's a reaction, or maybe that's something you have to choose to do, but that it adds more immersion to it, which I think is really cool.
I do agree on that. Having the ability to render a block is fantastic. Now, when we take a look at the older games, even the last one that they had, when you get hit up front, you don't just keep the gun in front of you, you go, ugh, and you do a blocking motion, but you take full damage. Now they're giving you the option to be oh shit, block, and take, I don't know, quarter, half, 3/4 damage. I don't know what their actual damage metric is going to be for blocking, but yes, they are giving it to you. So instead of your character going, and taking fucking full damage or whatever, you can take reduced damage. And that is nice, and hopefully you use the fucking block button.
Yeah. And I feel and you're right, yeah, they never, I just remember some of the older games, you never really did much. And a lot of
the older games, your pistol was out in front of you and you just took fucking damage. It was oh god, and the only way you knew you're taking damage is in Doom when your face changed. So, oh my god, my dude's pretty bloody.
Yeah. So, that kind of stuff has been helpful. To make this game more immersive. And then I feel if you're also in there and you're in first person, I feel that's an added, you can't see right behind you, are they far enough away from me? And it's just hearing that, and it's just that level of horror made Biohazard you left the house, and I'm assuming you played that game, right?
I've watched it get played because I wasn't going to pay the money for the Resident Evil game, and I haven't played a Resident Evil game since console. Now, though, with the PS5, I might actually pick up Biohazard to play through it because, I'm just not going to play through it at night because, no, I'm scared. Legitimately, I don't care. I'll wet my fucking pants. That game, watching people play it and shit that jumps out at me, fuck no, dude. That's not going to happen.
Well,
but I will say, looking at Village and looking at the gameplay of Village, it doesn't look nearly on the fucking level to me that Biohazard was.
No?
Biohazard looks fucking like jump scary and thriller, and it's got all the creepy elements, and I'm looking at Village, and Village has intricate storyline with direct characters, and I'm not seeing the legitimately make me piss myself scared, but more of a, at the end of the game, we were like, what the fuck did I legitimately just play? I don't understand anymore. I hate humanity. I'm going fucking home, and I'll just turn the PlayStation off and go upstairs.
Okay. So let's talk about some of these characters. How do you feel about the merchant that they've got in this game, the Duke? Are you sad that it's not a guy in a trench coat anymore?
I am sad it's not a guy in a trench coat anymore. Other than that, I mean, same. Slight tweaks here and there, but yeah, a dude opening up his trench coat and offering me weapons, especially RPGs. I'm gonna miss that, man. I miss the '90s a lot.
Yeah. That was a nice little. I like that about that. It's like, what did he say? It's like, so what are you buying? What are you selling? Is that what he used to say?
Oh yeah. I'd have to look it up, but that sounds about right to me.
So, I have to say, Heisenberg, Carl Heisenberg, is going.
You mean we're going into Breaking Bad now?
Yeah, I know, right? So he's got like this massive hammer, and he seems to have like, and they're like gears that he's got on there, reduction gears on this hammer, and when they showed him in the trailer, like things are starting to levitate around him. So I'm wondering what kind of powers that he's got, and then they keep referring to him as like the brother or something like that, who like he puts these games on, and I guess like you're gonna have to go through a bunch of puzzles to overcome his traps.
But see, this is where the Village is truly losing me. Right, and I understand that there are plenty of Resident Evil games that have fucking bullshit mechanics and bullshit bosses and all of that, and this is why the original Resident Evil I truly enjoyed. Resident Evil 4 was the greatest Resident Evil I've ever played, but Resident Evil 4 made sense across the board, right? And I really got into the characters. I got that how they were turned into mutant demon type things. I really enjoyed that overall. Adding a lot of the sense like the Resident Evil movies did, and they fucking ruined it after the first original movie, but personal opinion. Going into the, oh, he's the Brotherhood and he builds his paladin hammer this way, and because he legitimately looks and acts like a fucking paladin, just maybe a fallen paladin in D&D and all of that, and yeah, they're gonna start elevating and doing all this, and it's more psychic powers, and you know, it's gonna be a lot more magic, and I'm like, that personally I don't enjoy. So watching the trailer, I'm not all that interested in the Village. Now, that's me. Selkie is fucking super absorbed into it. She actually watched the hour and 30-minute thing about it, and she watched the trailers, and she knew about it way before I even knew that Resident Evil Village was a thing. She's been tracking it, and we are buying that fucking game day one. Resident Evil 4 is my greatest Resident Evil. I'm not super excited about the Village. I'm not super excited about what I'm seeing. I am very excited about the other prospects of Resident Evil right now, but not the Village. I think Biohazard looked really cool and grabbed that Resident Evil 4 vibe off of, hey, they're twisted mutant type fucking things and they're going in that direction, and that gave me that eerie, realistic, oh my god, I'm caught in the backwoods of fucking West Virginia and I'm gonna get raped by a whole bunch of horrible things, and hopefully, they kill me, then rape me, then eat my flesh, but you never know what order Reavers do shit in. So, yeah. I don't know. Are you truly excited about The Village?
I am. I'm excited to... Like I said, the story is what captivates me. I doubt I'm ever going to play it because
what the fuck?
I know. Me and scary games I don't mix well. So there are scary games that I love the story about, and I have to stay on top of. I have to track. I have to follow like all the stories of all the Resident Evil games. I watch those being played, and I enjoyed them a lot, but never played any of them. Wasn't really a fan. But I'd have to say the arcade mode of this game that they're coming out with, which seems to be kind of like what do they call it?
It's a railroad shooter that will satisfy the multiplayer audience. It's going to be... It is what it is. I'm not excited for it at all. It's one of those, but Call of Duty has the zombie mode, and that gets a lot of fucking things. Let's make a Resident Evil version of it and have a lot of fun times for it as well. And, okay, the money's there. The people like it. So people kind of want it. I understand. You're gonna play into your fan base. You're going to play into what is currently selling and what has sold. Let's be honest. The Call of Duty Zombies is not a new fucking thing at all and has sold significantly. And has been one of the biggest things of, hey, the new Black Ops doesn't have a zombie mode. Fuck that. What happens 6 months later? They patch in a zombie mode.
Yeah, but the what is it? It's the survive the wave. Survive the next one. That level of stress and what I think it really offers you as a player. Now this is without giving any detail, but this is the only way I can see that this is a legitimate game mode, is if they remove the restrictions that you see in the normal game, which is a survival horror game, and the components of a survival horror game mean limitations on ammunition, limitations on other healing supplies. Remove the limitations on the ammo, make ammo easier to come by, to gather in this mode, and I can see this being fun because if you can go through this, you can shoot them up, you can, take on different enemies using different weapons, because I feel like all of these survival games, like I'm counting bullets, saving every last one, like trying my best, like using the bow and arrow. Like I remember playing wasn't it called Rise of the Tomb Raider, was it?
When was the last time you played a Call of Duty zombie game?
Probably about 3 years ago.
You paused that fucking long, dude.
Yeah.
It's been way too long. So
zombies has never been my favorite thing.
Right, but for me, it's been way longer than 3 years ago, dude. I haven't played that shit since we played it in Afghanistan. And fuck, I was in Afghanistan in 2012. So yeah, dude, I played it in 2012, and whatever the Call of Duty was at that time, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, whatever the fuck it was, and we played it on PlayStation 4 out there. Man, it was limited ammo, forced you to move around the map right? So that you would collect different guns and swap out. So it created the challenge. Right now, don't give me I pick up one gun and I get one fucking mag to it. No, that's going to be the regular storyline gameplay. You pick up a gun, you're only going to get 4 bullets in your fucking 12-shot 9mm mag, right? But when you play that, you're going to pick up a couple mags and you're going to go from there. It's just going to be a Call of Duty zombie mode, but you can't give it massive amounts of ammo. You can't have all the players, oh, I picked up a fucking RPG, I got the shotgun, and oh boy over there has got the fucking Uzi or machine gun or whatever the fuck it is, and we're going to barricade ourselves in this one room, have all the zombies come to us, and take them all out with this, and not have to reload. So, even Call of Duty made that, and I think Resident Evil is going to do the same when it comes to the arcade portion. You're going to get more ammo, obviously. The guns are going to be more prolific, obviously. And you're going to have a lot more fun, but it's still going to force you to move, because turtling in one situation doesn't really make for a good game, especially... And I don't know how many players they plan to make it multiplayer. If it's a 4-player co-op, if it's a 16-player co-op, whatever the fuck that they actually plan to do. I haven't read up on that. But it's going to be Call of Duty Zombies. Just a Resident Evil take of zombies. Cultists, vampires, mutants, whatever the fuck they're actually going to throw in the village. But yeah, expect to jump into it and have not super limited ammo, but limited ammo enough for you to have to move with your friends across the map into different sections. And like I said, the last Zombies game I played, there was a house, there was a barn, there was something else besides the house and the barn, and we had to move through all of that and progress. And you really had to count your shots, pay attention. Whoever picked up which weapon had to be sure to take out these things. And then it was more frustration than it was stressful. It wasn't really stressful. It was just like, fuck, man. You wasted the rounds here. Fuck it, reboot the map, man. We'll be good.
So... this one's different, though. So this is going to be single. You have to complete the entire game, and then you get access to Mercenaries, which is this arcade mode. And it's getting to the objective before time runs out. You have a certain number of enemies. Of course, the further you get, the harder the enemies are going to get. And at the end of a stage, you can pick, an ability that you want to use.
See, now that's gonna get,
and then
quick. That's gonna get old quick.
Possibly, but
no. Think about it. How many people are gonna stream the game? How many people are gonna figure out which perks you need to take, which path you need to take, how you're gonna do it? So the streamers who get their fucking hands on the game early are gonna figure this shit out, and they're gonna do it, and then they're gonna tell everybody, "Hey, this is the fucking meta of the game, and if you want to get to the end, you can do it in 6 minutes like this."
Yeah,
I'm really hoping that they fuck it up and change locations of things.
Well, yeah, I hope it's a little more random generated. Then it's not so repetitive. But we'll see.
But then you run into issues, man, with random generated as well. Because what happens if, hey, on the 3rd level, you really need a fucking shotgun to get through this, but what does it spawn? It spawns a fucking Glock 9mm. Oh, I really wanted that 12 gauge fucking semi-auto shotgun with the 18 round fucking drum attached to it, but I got a Glock 9mm.
Yeah, well, it says pick the perfect weapon for each stage. Create the best combo of abilities and match your abilities to your fighting style. The Mercenaries offers a wide range of different strategies to suit your play style. So, like, medical supplies, they got pistols, they have automatic pistols, carbine, shotgun, pistol grip, Shotgun.
Okay, so I mean, it looks like you can mod weapons. Now, how do you unlock those weapons to get into there? Do you automatically, hey, you beat the game in easy mode, now we're just going to give you this fucking option to play in the arcade? Or do you unlock different options for firearms as you progress through the different difficulty modes of the main game? Which, personally, that's what I would like to see. Like, hey, cool, I beat the game in fucking ultra easy, right? I did the very easy, and there's 5 difficulty options, and hey, Damok was like, fuck this, man. I just want to get to that arcade shit. But you go, oh, if I would have beat it in fucking regular easy instead of very easy, I would have gotten 3 new pistol grips, 2 new fucking shotgun rounds, a different goddamn grenade launcher. And then if I played it normal, oh, damn, dude, those pistols get upgraded damage, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, so on and so forth. I'm interested to see how they do it. I know that we're going to pick up the game day one because I know Selkie is actually really interested. I myself, watching the trailers, watching the announcement and all that, Resident Evil Village has not excited me in any way. I am super excited for the other aspects of Resident Evil that was announced during their big trailer announcement showcase. They had a big showcase, right?
So you're excited about the anime?
Yeah, you know what? And I had an argument with Flightless over that, where she was like, hey, that says anime. And I was like, no, it says animated, right? Because it's CGI. And she's like, no, anime is specifically from Japan and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, let me take a fucking look. I'm pretty sure it said animated series. No, it definitely fucking says anime. And it is definitely CGI and not traditional anime at all.
Close enough.
Uh-oh. Blue hasn't seen it yet. Like, oh, boy.
No, I saw it, but I'm like, as far as that, I'm like, whatever, close enough. It's anime to me. I mean, it's made by Capcom. That's not an English company. Those guys are Japanese.
Right, I was gonna say, like, everything Resident Evil comes from Japan anyway,
Yeah,
so I was
so,
like, whatever. So they can call it anime all they fucking want to.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they talked about it in Japanese, and they had someone translating for the guy who was talking about it in Japanese. But yeah, that's gonna be cool. It's events that take place after Resident Evil 5, I believe.
No.
Yeah? No?
No. Resident Evil 1-ish. No, Resident Evil 4. Wait, was the character from Resident Evil 4 into Resident Evil 5?
Yeah, I think Ethan was...
Because Ethan was the big character in Resident Evil 4. That's who you played. Or was it Ethan or... Yeah, you played Ethan, right? And then he was the investigator for that and found out... So Resident Evil 4 was all about... You know, the Umbrella Company has been abolished. It doesn't exist. Everything's gone now. Oh. But it turns out that, you know, my God.
Resident Evil 6. It was Leon. I think.
Leon's his name. There you go. Not Ethan.
Leon's the main character for 4 as well. So, yeah, and it takes place in the other country, but then 6 is when there's a worldwide bio attack, and there's like 4 campaigns, and one of the things that Leon's doing is he's trying to protect the president. But the anime that takes place, I think it said in the events after 5. So, in Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Let's see. Resident Evil 2 Remake's voice actors will be reprising their roles. Zombies are headed for the White House.
I mean, it looks... the anime looks good.
Infinite Darkness is set a few years after the events of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, okay, because I thought that it was going to be Resident Evil 4, right? Because that's, and I guess his name is not Ethan, it's Leon. How I fucked that up because it's one of my favorite Resident Evil games. I don't know, but please give me some slack here. I haven't played Resident Evil 4 since it was on GameCube when GameCube came out and the game released. Right? So it, yeah, dude, that was early mid 2000s. But
Yep.
yeah. So, I mean, I was excited to see the announcement for the animated series. I'm going to call it animated series because it's CGI, and calling it anime is kind of weird after arguing with Flightless about it. And like, in that, playful argument, but it's one of those, not sure. However, that's still not what I'm excited about the most.
Are you excited about the remake of Resident Evil 4 and with VR?
Let's see, as an owner of the Oculus Quest and the Oculus Quest 2, yeah, I'm absolutely fucking super interested because let me tell you, like, I was an adult when I played Resident Evil 4 on GameCube, and even GameCube graphics made Resident Evil 4 look creepy and just like, ugh, fuck.
Yep.
And I was playing it and all that, and like, now, to take that, sharpen it up a little bit, throw it into a first person instead of a third person over the shoulder view, and get me into that situation, I'm super curious of how when I watched the trailer, the movement looked fluid. Like it's gonna be like holding one controller and just pressing forward and moving through the situation. And I remember the very beginning of that game being horrific. When they come after you with the chainsaws and all of that, and you're like, oh god, and you're trying to do it, and then just you get dragged into situation after shitty situation. And now I get to wear it on a VR headset where I get to look left and right and behind me and use my firearms that way. Oh, yeah, dude, I am super excited for that, and will be absolutely picking that up on the Quest 2.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm not sure how well it's gonna look. I mean, that's definitely a different challenge. They're going from third person to first, or over the shoulder. Yeah, it was over the shoulder, right? Pretty much.
Yeah. So Resident Evil 4 was over the shoulder. So making it into a first person isn't going to be that bad at all. Right? It's going to be a more straightforward. I'll have more accuracy with the firearm and other utilities overall.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool how they're gonna. It looked like they were doing some of the puzzles. Moving things around. By hand, and it adds like that immersion feeling that I was talking about earlier when we were talking about the village. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Looks like they're gonna still stay true to everything else. That's just you get to play it in VR instead. You get to be Leon S. Kennedy.
Now, there are other Resident Evil VR games, and I've not played them, but I've heard they're absolutely scary as fuck. So, not knowing the other games, not knowing too much about them, but hearing the kids say, hey, blah, 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 I played this over at such and such's houses, and I'm like, really? And they're like, man, it's so fucking scary, like, I can't play that, and then, because VR is crazy, and they have the PlayStation VR. Now getting to play Resident Evil 4, knowing how much that game made me jump as an adult at the time, right? And I'm like, oh, I am so excited, and I'm so interested in some of those cutscenes and how they're going to play out, because Resident Evil 4 absolutely had those, what did you call them earlier, action sequences where you have to press the buttons?
Quick actions.
Quick actions, right? They had the quick action scenes. And Resident Evil 4 had them. Not all the time, but they did have a decent amount of them in there I'm like, how is that going to translate over to VR? I already understand how first person is going to translate because that just makes sense. But how are those things? Are they going to have to change a little bit of the story? Is my fucking, how many goddamn pages is this Prima book? Let's see, 223 page
220.
Prima strategy guide for Resident Evil 4. Is that still going to be valid when I play it? And I'm going to have, one of the kids sit on the couch and the other kid is going to have the tablet pulled up and watching the screen because, you can link the Oculus to a screen. And they'll be like, okay, he's at this point. Where does he go? And they're going to have fucking directions reading through the goddamn guide because, yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm there to beat the fucking game.
Nice. Yeah, I think the only other VR game that I know that they did for Resident Evil was the Biohazard game. So, yeah, hopefully.
Well, I didn't play it because that was, I believe, a PSVR exclusive, and I didn't have the PlayStation VR.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PS4 Pro, and PSVR. Well, anything else you'd like to add?
Aside from the Netflix show looking really good, like we've discussed, and I'm really excited for Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil, is this 8? Village? I think it's 8.
Yeah, this is 8.
Village looks good enough to play. I'm personally not excited for it. But one thing that you touched on earlier that we kind of skipped over is starting tomorrow, which if you're listening to this podcast, it's already fucking too late because we are talking April 17th is starting the 30-minute demo of the game. So there are 2 demos that are getting released. One starts tomorrow, and I do believe it starts it was weird times it starts. It's not truly 24 hours, close to it, but not. You can pre-download the demo. You can play the first 30 minutes of it. Then in May, I believe on May 1st or 2nd, they are doing the 60-minute demo. And each demo is going to be different. And it's just supposed to get you worked up. And the demos do not, from what I read, and I could be wrong, from what I read, is that the demos are not the actual game, but something to lead you up into the game. So there's a 30-minute demo, then there's a 60-minute demo, and then there's a release of the game.
Yep. Hopefully that doesn't give away too much of the game. Like, I hope they have, like, so many more surprises that come along. But...
well, they said it's going to be the backstory of the game to kind of lead you up into the intro of the start of the game.
Awesome. Which is good. Definitely like that stuff. It sounds like they've got some gaps to fill in with, like, they said, like, oh, Mia's dead, apparently. Like, okay, hopefully we're going to figure out what's going on there. But you know what? I think you should be really excited about Damok is the fact that they are rebooting the live-action Resident Evil movies. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I know, and I don't like it.
2 stories collide. Resident Evil Cinema 2021. It looks like they're going back to... I guess that's Resident Evil... is that 1 or 2?
I believe it's the first Resident Evil. And honestly, looking at the movies, the first movie, while it didn't completely grasp the game, it really, really got close. And I felt that they did a really good job of it, and I truly enjoyed the first Resident Evil movie. And I mean, come on now, Marilyn Manson did the fucking soundtrack for it. Like, it was a big deal. He always wanted to do the score for a movie, and he absolutely fucking did it, and he nailed it. The music throughout the first movie really brought those scenes together, and I was like, oh, wow, that's fucking amazing. I didn't even learn it was Marilyn Manson until years later, but hey, the first movie was great. The subsequent movies got worse and worse and worse. And I know that Resident Evil gets super hokey, and I know that it gets super fucking bad in the games because super mutants, but the movies made it so fucking bad. The first movie, watch it. The rest of the movies, abandon them. Maybe there is some hope with the remakes, but I don't know. Blue, did you watch the first movie and other movies after?
Let's see. So, which ones did I see? I saw Resident Evil. I saw, which one came after that? So let's see. There was Resident Evil. I saw Extinction. I think I saw Extinction in theaters. I saw Retribution. I saw Afterlife. I don't think I saw Final Chapter. Who's in Final Chapter? Let's look at some screenshots.
I have not seen Final Chapter.
Nope. I did not see Final Chapter. Yeah. But Afterlife, which was kind of weird.
Dude, the rest of the movies after the first one got really weird.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was weird, but at least it stuck to a principle where I could be like,
it did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, Afterlife got a little weird because it was just like Silent Hill-ish at some points. When she gets to that building, which was that a prison? I don't remember. I know it imprisoned someone, but yeah, it's just.
What was the end of one of the movies where she starts looking at the cameras and making people's fucking eyes bleed because her psychic powers are so proliferate that it doesn't matter anymore? And I'm like, you can't look at a closed circuit TV camera and start torturing people's brains.
Yeah. They made her a little too OP. I mean, I've got nothing against the actress, but
no, the actor is Mila Jovovich, right?
Yeah.
Mia Jovovich? Yeah, she's fucking great, dude. Like, God, Fifth Element is her greatest movie, aside from the first Resident Evil movie. But yeah, I mean, she got paid to keep making those movies, and of course, they're going to need the overpowered character entirely. Because if not, you can't have a Resident Evil video game, let alone a movie. There's always going to be somebody that's... Except for Resident Evil 4. You're not exactly overpowered. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Play Resident Evil 4. Don't play the rest of them. You'll be okay.
Pretty much.
Play the new VR version. You'll be okay.
I think it's a good story to start with. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Damok, why don't you tell the good people where they can find you?
I exclusively troll the G.N.A podcast, though I've been thinking about going over to Thoughts and Shots, as I do talk way too much shit to those dudes. But right now, still, the G.N.A podcast Discord.
Awesome. Yeah, if you have not, make sure you check out Thoughts and Shots, guys. We've been on there we've gone on some collaborative stuff with them a few times. Actually, if you have not listened to their episode that they did, what was it called? April Fools? Was that the name of the movie?
You know what? I was so fucking drunk, I don't remember.
So, I don't watch horror movies. Like, I haven't watched a horror movie in a long time. As long as we're going to exclude the Resident Evil movies as horror, because those are just really just like bad action movies. Yeah, I watched a horror movie with the guys when Damok and Cecil and I were on there a couple weeks ago. But yeah, make sure you check them out. And I'm Blue Shark 45. You can find me on our G.N.A Discord at Blue Shark 45 on Twitter, Parler, Minds. If you can't find me somewhere, you can always message me on Discord, or you can slide into my DMs in Twitter, and you can ask me where else you can find me, and I might be able to tell you else where you can find me. But I mean, you found me at that point, so why not just talk to me there? Anywho, we got something called a website.
www.thekidsafuckingsleeping.com or GNApodcast.com. One of those. It will work.
That's right, folks. And make sure you drop us an email at GNApodcast at GNA and your DNA.1 with all your questions, comments, death threats.
Hey, and if you say Damok sucks a monkey's cock, I still have this 500 gig M.2 solid state drive, and I will pay for shipping. We'll fucking go, man. Just say it and fucking link me your address. Or P.O. Box. Don't give me your actual address. That's fucking weird, dude. I will send you dick pics. But, legitimately, send like a P.O. Box or something. We'll be good to go.
That's right, folks. Be sure to write in if you actually want to get that, because we still have that. But, thank you very much, Damok. You have a good evening, sir.
Alright, man, Blue. It is always a pleasure to speak with you, and looking at those sexy fucking guns with that smile all night. I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be back in 20.
Alright. Good night.
Have a good night, man.
We hope you enjoyed the show. G.N.A, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Reviews help people find the show, so if you enjoy listening to us, let other people know. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Podcast Addict, Player FM, Stitcher, Spreaker, MyTuner, Your Listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and a whole bunch of other places. If we aren't someplace, let us know. We'll upload there.
You can also follow us on Twitter or Facebook by searching at G.N.A Podcast. You can also join our Discord chat. Just see the pinned tweet.
We do a game show night every first Saturday of every month on Mixer at www.mixer.com/GNA Podcast.
And join us every second Saturday of the month for Horror Movie Night, hosted by Zyberblood.
We want to thank Morgan BS Photography for our artwork and logo. Check him out at morganbs.com.
And please email us at GNApodcast at GNAinyourdNA.1 with all your questions, comments, or death threats. We would love to hear from you. And last but not least, please be sure to check out our website at www.GNApodcast.com.